Hey everybody, welcome to the Overly Subjective Podcast. This is episode 4. My name's Jesse. I'll be your host. I'm joined by Hewitt.
Yo, how's it going, y'all?
And I'm also joined by Landon.
Sup?
We seem to be the regular crew here on the Overly Subjective Podcast. Hopefully we'll get some guest people in the future. I like the trend of just starting off with what we have been playing recently since the last podcast. And I'll just start myself. I haven't really played too much different. I played a little bit of Overwatch, getting back into that, playing some Resident Evil 5 co-op stuff. That's the most notable stuff. I bought Onward. It's like a military sim for the Vive. It's pretty good.
Is it like Arma?
It's not that simulation-y, but it is, I'd say it's simulation. Like, you have to take out the magazine, reload it, you have to cock it, you have to press a button to release the magazine itself, so you're able to pull it out, and changing your fire modes and stuff. Grenades, you actually have to pull the pin, and then prime it, and then throw it.
You had me at cock.
I bet. One of the things I did notice, so it's my first real time playing a VR game with actual locomotion in it that's like just moving around. And I didn't get sick really, but I did stammer a little bit. Like my brain was like, what the fuck, you're moving but you're staying still. So I kind of I almost fell over. That was like the first maybe 30 seconds. Then I got used to it after that. Onward, Overwatch, Resident Evil 5. Playing a little bit of Stardew Valley just because I bought that in the Freedom Bundle, that new Humble Bundle.
Wait, you didn't own Stardew Valley before?
No, I did, but I gave my extra key to Jeff, and then he started playing it, so I just kind of hopped in a bit, kind of exploring the new maps that they added.
How is it?
I haven't really experienced anything new yet. I chose a one where monsters are supposed to spawn at night, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, I only played a couple hours of Stardew. I didn't get to the end. I mean, I liked the game, but I don't know why I stopped. And every time I try to go back, I don't feel like playing it.
Do you get bored?
I don't know. It's like nowadays with games, my attention span gets worse and worse for them. Like, I'm still playing the really long stuff like MMOs that you can play forever, but for actual games non-online, MMOs, my attention span is just so short. Like today, I've been hopping around between Diablo, MapleStory, Overwatch, Tales of Berseria, and I've just been kind of hopping around the games and I don't sit down there and play hours and hours of one game, which something that I used to do.
Maybe it's just because you're getting older.
God damn it. My age is catching up with me already.
I think it is because I kind of do the same thing. I think we really kids are easily amused. Our younger selves are easily amused, so I think we need a lot better games to keep us interested these days.
Yeah, today I sat down and played Tales of Berseria for 2 to 3 hours, and that was the longest I've played a game for a while that's not an MMO.
The MMO though, you can't really accomplish too much in 2 hours, so you kind of are forced to stay longer in most cases.
Yeah, that is true.
And then I also played a little bit of Overgrowth, which is that weird physics battle giant bunny rabbit game
that's been in development for a millennia.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how long it's been in development. It was just included in this Freedom Bundle, so I just hopped in it, and it's interesting. Oh, that's a pun. I didn't even realize it.
Oh, I thought you did that on purpose.
No, I mean, yeah, I did. Dang.
It's very unique. The screenshots that I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's something about giant bunny rabbits that creep me out, but it's pretty hilarious. Just the combat is hilarious.
What type of game is it?
Well, it's not really anything right now because it's in alpha, so you basically are just allowed to go kick the shit out of other giant bunny rats and bunny rats, bunny rabbits. That's about it. So there is a story mode, but I didn't check that out. I just checked out the tutorial and the verses and the arena stuff. But they're asking like $30 for the game.
Yeah, I picked it up in the Humble Freedom Bundle as well, and it's an interesting tech demo as it stands now. I did try out the story mode, and it was so crude. It looked like a placeholder story mode. You know what I mean? There's no like voice acting. I don't know if they intended to do voice acting, but there's like no sound effects other than the fighting sound effects. Really, very fucking early stages. And I really like the combat in that game. It's silly and bizarre, but it feels substantial when you like fucking kick rabbits and shit, or punch them, or fucking chokehold them, or stab them.
It's just like real life.
Know exactly what you mean. Actually, funny story. One of my friends in high school actually, one day they were working in the fields for like volunteer project, and they were going, using a lawnmower, and it was like really, really tall grass. And I guess it's not that funny, but they kind of, you can guess what happened.
Hey, the really funny story. My friend in high school mutilated a rabbit with his lawnmower. That's sick,
hilarious. Hilarious.
Oh boy. So yeah, Overgrowth, Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley I recommend to anybody who enjoys Harvest Moon. It's like the real sequel to Harvest Moon. So played Mushroom 11, which was in the Freedom Bundle as well. And it's a really cool puzzle game where you kind of just moving around. I think it's mushroom spores, I'm guessing. You just kind of move around this liquid. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I wasn't really expecting it to be anything.
Yeah, I think you're like some kind of fucking organism caused by the apocalypse that the game is set in.
Yeah, and that one's like $15, you said?
I would recommend that to anybody who likes puzzle games. It held my attention more than any puzzle game ever has, really, since fucking World of Goo.
Have you played Picross 3D?
No.
I recommend checking that out if you have a DS.
Yeah, I keep hearing about it and how fun it is, but you can't. I'm too lazy to update my cracked 3DS to get it or go out and buy it.
Cracked?
Yeah, you buy all your games.
I meant I need to go repair my 3DS because it has a cracked screen.
Ah, I see. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's everything I've been playing. Not too much has changed. But old games to new games. Hopefully, I look forward to playing more Overwatch.
So I have been playing, of course, the usual. I've a lot less Diablo this time around. And of course, I'm still playing Maple because I stream it. I played a good bit of Overwatch actually. I've been really, really liking playing Ana. She's a lot of fun. She's a really cool support character that I haven't really appreciated until now, and I've just been playing a lot of her. And then also I bought Tales of Berseria a while back, probably like 2 or 3 weeks back, and then haven't played it. But I finally decided to pick it up today, and I played a couple hours of that today. Really fun. I'm probably 2.5 hours in. At least I've played for 2.5 hours. Maybe I'm less because one of those types that like picks up every item on the ground, explores every corner of the map before moving on. And been playing a bit of StepMania. I've been getting back into that as well.
Are there any leaderboards in StepMania?
I believe with the latest one you can do leaderboard stuff. I haven't really checked it out because I never really went into that type of stuff. It would be hard because you can make your custom step tracks, I guess they're called. I don't know what they're called. Beat maps, there we go. Osu does a better job of it because they have their own server that hosts, people uploading them, and like they get like approved and like ranking official like Osu, whatever those things are called. But StepMania doesn't have that, so I would think it's very hard for there to be any good online leaderboards.
Yeah, I used to play like a ton of StepMania back when my reflexes were nice and good when I was young. like a couple of years ago.
Jesse, you're not old.
No, I'm not.
No, you've held a phone that had a cord connected to it. You're old.
Yeah, man, that's true. I was around before even Google and YouTube, so yeah, I'm old.
I was
Freaking-
around when we were using Ask Jeeves.
That's right, Ask Jeeves and Dogpile, the old school search engines. Oh, did you ever like actually frame a question to Ask Jeeves? Did you actually ask him anything?
Excuse me, sir. Can you tell me where the nearest gas station is?
Like you go down and like, does anyone search for like where is or what is? I just type in keywords now and I just get what I want.
I'm sure your parents or grandparents probably do that.
Go to google.com and type in how do I go to Google? Man, old people. It's like the worst thing. I guess I should say what like type of job I have. Anyways, I just do like tech support stuff, and the worst kind of call I get, like when they say, "Oh, I'm not tech savvy" or "I'm not good with the computers." I hate it so much because it's just a cop out, man. It's like, no, you're just too lazy and dumb to learn this. Like, because you can just call us and we can fucking solve your problems for you. It's like irks me so much. Maybe it shouldn't, but
Give you the answer to life.
I had to teach my dad how to restart the computer today.
Beautiful.
It took more steps than you would expect.
My dad is really computer savvy. He's more tech savvy than I am, usually.
yeah, probably because he understands like where the world's headed. People who do like, if you found this podcast somehow and you're listening to it, you're better off than I'd say like 60% of the population.
I mean, I built my own computer probably very recently. It was like last May is when I built my first computer. Before that, my dad built my computer, and he like sets up all the TV stuff. He sets up everything basically in the house that is tech related. And he's kind of like the go-to tech guy in our family. He's really tech savvy.
That's good though, man. That's really good. It's satisfying actually building your own computer though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Definitely next time around. Well, I'm probably not gonna build another computer. I'm probably just gonna replace the parts, unless maybe one day it's like, well, I haven't replaced them a bunch of parts in a while. I might as well just rebuild a new computer.
Yeah, I don't really need to upgrade, but I still want to for whatever reason. Because capitalism.
Consumerism.
I built my first PC I built for a friend, and I put the motherboard in and I forgot a couple of these standoffs, and the computer wouldn't boot, and I was really lucky because if it could have like shorted itself if the components were like properly built or whatever, but it wouldn't boot, and I was like, what the fuck, how come it's not booting? And I'm like a first time PC owner, you're PC builder, you're not thinking about the standoffs at all, because that's just like so something you don't even consider when you're troubleshooting PC not booting. Yeah, dumb freaking newbie mistake. I'll never forget putting them on though. That's a good thing anyways.
I didn't run into too many issues when I was building my PC. The only thing that I had a little bit of trouble was screwing in my heatsink. Took a little bit of finesse.
Yeah, that can definitely be troublesome, especially if you got one that requires a backplate. You need some dexterity there. Yeah, there's a lot of anxiety involved, man. When I build the PC I'm using now, you never want to like turn it on and display doesn't come on and you hear the error beep codes, and that's just like your heart just sinks down into your asshole and you're like, oh. It ended up just being my RAM wasn't pushed in far enough, so it wasn't like detecting the RAM. That's what the beep code was. So I just like, you really have to push hard.
Just push real hard.
Yeah, another quick stupid story of dumb adolescence. Some guy called me up and I was trying to get him to go to a website. I had to direct him to the address bar because he's trying to type the website into the search bar, like toolbar that he got installed, because of course he has a search toolbar. And I told him the full URL, because you can't just say go to blah blah blah.com. You have to say go to blah blah blah. Sometimes you have to spell it out. You have to say period sometimes you have to tell them where the period is. Then you say calm, and then and then I said type that in, press enter. After getting him to the address bar and all that, and he's like, I can't press enter, and I'm just thinking to myself, what does that even mean? What does that mean? You can't press enter? Like, do you have no keyboard?
Do you have hands?
Do you have hands? Or you're a fucking war vet amputee? And it turned out, to make a long story short, because this was like an hour-long call, I shit you not, he was using a Mac, so the enter key said return and not enter. So, like, same functionality, but give them the benefit of the doubt. I guess you have to if you want to stay sane. Like, it's just some people, they call you up, they want like the total, direct, literal steps, and it's kind of good that they follow them to a T, but at some point you gotta think for yourself, right? I don't know, double-edged sword, I guess.
I swear, Macs are not furthering people's tech savviness. They're making them worse. I swear.
No, my company, we it's like a rule that we don't like supporting a Mac is best effort. Like, we are not required to even support them at all, just because they're a total nightmare to support, which I think is hilarious for an IT company.
And your story earlier reminded me of that episode of Pure Ownage. I think you guys watched that, right?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
That one episode where he's working tech support, and he's trying to direct the dude to the control panel.
I should rewatch that. I need to see that.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. You should definitely rewatch it.
What I've done now is, instead of telling them to go to start control panel, because that is hard for a lot of people, I just have them hold the Windows key and press R, which is even difficult sometimes because they want the Windows key. I've never heard of that. Well, it's the one that looks like a window on your keyboard. It's called the Windows key. So, sometimes it does look like a window, but whatever. I just tell them to Windows key R, and then I just tell them to type in the command to open control panel. And that is a lot easier sometimes than directing them through the start menu.
Yeah, whenever my mom needs computer help when I'm not there, I have TeamViewer installed on her computer, so I could just do it myself.
Yeah, it's a lot faster.
Do you ever do that? Tell people to install TeamViewer?
We, I think a long time ago they used TeamViewer. When we're not allowed to for the people that call in from home, but if it's within the company, we just use remote desktop connection or offer remote assistance. Does the same thing, just remote in.
I see.
And that's even if it's a simple issue, people will call me like, no sound coming from my PC because my audio is disabled. I'll just remote in instead of trying to tell them how to do it. It's just way faster. And then sometimes if I'm in a good mood, I'll actually like teach someone how to do it, and I'll like, but you can't do that with everyone. You'll lose your mind.
It'll take you hours.
Hours upon hours. Well, Landon, what have you been playing?
I have been playing Overwatch with both of you guys that one time. That's a good game, man. I like that game. Every time I play it, I don't really have anything bad to say about it other than teammates being total shit.
Yeah, it's difficult to overcome that.
And Overgrowth, I said earlier, I've been playing. Also been playing Mushroom 11 from the Humble Freedom Bundle. By the way, everybody should go get that. Well, you still can. I think there's 17 hours left. By the time you hear this, it'll probably be over, but there's like fucking 30 or more games in there right now. It's a really good game.
Yeah, I think there's more than 30.
Yeah, they added like 16 more since we bought it.
Well, that means I should check it out.
Yeah, it's mostly indie games, but they're good. I think a lot of indie games are better than AAA games.
I mean, it has Stardew Valley in it. You should fucking get it for that alone.
Oh, I already have Stardew Valley.
Well, how much? Well, you can give it to a friend, man. Yeah. Can I give it away on your Twitch stream?
I actually have an extra copy of that because I bought it. It
also includes, what are some other ones? It did include Subnautica and Super Meat Boy, but the keys are gone for those. It also includes V, which is a good little platformer type game. It has a Stanley Parable, which is really hilarious. You should play. I mean, those are the ones I just remember. There's a ton.
Yeah, it's Stanley Parable, or is it Parable?
Oh, and as the witness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got
Witness.
the Witness. It's got a lot of like high-profile games in it, like fucking Nuclear Throne, World of Goo, Octodad,
Unfortunately, I'm not very interested in most of these.
Guacamelee, Human Resource Machine, bunch of books that nobody gives a shit about.
I hear Invisible Ink is really good. I remember listening to Giant Bombcast Game of the Year last year, and Austin Walker on that was fighting for it real hard.
Yeah, I don't really like turn-based stealth games. I think that's what that is.
Well, it's well, how much is Stardew Valley retail even? I think it's $30, isn't it?
No, it's pretty cheap. It's like $15.
I think it was 20 when I got it.
Well, I think it's definitely worth it to get Stardew Valley plus at least 2 or 3 games that you will enjoy.
I mean, you get System Shock 1 and 2.
Yeah, you get Daily Tentacle remastered. It's a good one. If you're like a hipster and you like enjoying old things, that's a good one. Yeah, anything else you checked out?
Yeah, I've been I took a break from Battlefield 1 just because too busy watching Zelda videos. But Battlefield 1, I really want them to do some like Vimy Ridge, and I think that's actually coming in the next expansion. But I just want a little, just something about Canada in there. God damn it. I don't think we're gonna get it, but that remains to be my favorite Battlefield game.
Yeah, it would be nice.
And I got back into Banished, which is a city builder strategy game / management game set in like medieval ages, and it's very much like on the sim side where your main resource are your civilians is their catchphrase, I think.
Never played
Medieval's always fun. I like medieval set games.
So in Banished, you basically it's really fucking hard because there's so many variables that you have to watch out for. Like if you grow your city too slowly by like not building houses or whatever, your population can be stunted because you have only old people and old people don't make babies. So you could lose the game because all your people are too old to procreate.
The issues of life.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's really intricate. It's probably my favorite city builder, other than maybe RimWorld, but that's not really a city builder.
Oh, you guys were playing that for so long when you guys first got that.
Yeah, RimWorld's one of my favorite games. It's really fun. I love it.
Yeah, I will play probably a lot more of it. I'm just kind of waiting for like a few more patches, just so that there's a whole bunch of new shit that I can discover when I get back into it.
Yeah, they have actually added a few things like you can like travel now on the planet that you're in and like settle in a different location.
Yeah, you can like view the entire globe to find your starting position.
I don't know. That's one of the issues for me about like games that are like in early access or whatever. I play a bunch of it when you first get it in like beta or whatever, and then you get bored of it or something, or you just kind of like, I'm gonna put this game down and wait for it to come out. And then by the time it comes out or like has a bunch of content patches, I just don't feel like going back to it.
Yeah, or you even just like stop following it, so you like have actually just forgotten about it completely.
Yeah, that's a risk I've had to deal with a few times.
Yeah, I tend to be pretty careful with the games I get into early access. Some are definitely like better than others for sure.
I've pretty much stopped doing early access shit altogether, but there's something about RimWorld that I couldn't wait for. I needed it.
Well, to be perfectly honest, RimWorld is like, it's a finished game. They could release it now, but they just keep adding stuff.
Yeah, that game is totally worth whatever price they're asking for right now. It's basically a fully fledged game. Even when I got it way back, like when it first came out.
So yeah, that's what we've been playing. I don't know what I'm gonna play this week. Hopefully, I anticipate playing more Overwatch, and I also got Tales of Berseria.
Berseria.
Berseria. Yeah, I got that one too. I haven't really played too many JRPGs, but I played a bunch of Ni no Kuni. I really love the aesthetic, so he would mention this, and it looked interesting to me, and I picked it up, played like I think an hour 40 minutes so far, And it seems like a game I'm gonna really enjoy. So I just popped it on my laptop, take it to work with me, play it there.
It's really nice. It kind of feels like you're playing through an anime.
Yeah, that's one of the things that interested me. Not like a weeboo or anything, but
Sure.
I enjoy the animus.
Yeah, I love anime. Watch it too much.
I watch the bad stuff too. Like, I've been watching the one I follow regularly now is Dragon Ball Super. I know it's better now, but when it first started, it was not good. But I continued through it because childhood, man.
Be honest, it's still not great. Like I love it, but it's not great right now, especially because they still haven't fucking fixed their issues with being on model. It's fucking driving me crazy. Like
Well, if you-
Goku's face is always different in every fucking shot, and it's pissing me off.
If you compare it to other animes, it definitely does not hold a candle. But if you compare it to itself, it's fantastic.
It's like me and Maple Story.
Yeah, there you go. You compare the content this month with the last month, and it's probably slightly better.
You
Maybe.
notice they changed the art style a little bit. It almost looks like all the colors have bloom on them. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say it seems like the colors have more contrast now.
I think it looks better, but it's kind of like it's a style they haven't done before.
It started with I think it started with the episode they added Irali, that little parody episode they had.
I don't think it was that far back. I think it was.
That's when I noticed it.
Was it that far back? I noticed it when they started doing the new intro. It was the first time I noticed it.
Yeah, they could have just got a new artist. Who knows?
It's like the new Pokemon series. They changed the art style completely.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did. It's a lot more cartoony, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, but you should just search up Pokemon. What is the latest one? It's
Sun and
Sun
Moon?
and Moon. Yeah, there we go.
Dragon Ball Super is interesting because the show is actually ahead of the manga, and they're both two completely different stories. Well, I mean, the start and the end are the same, but the in between is different, and this is like intentional for whatever reason.
Did you watch episode 79, by the way?
Not yet.
It was pretty good, actually. You got to see Boo fight for realsy for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, I've been actually looking forward to that because he was like a real threat. I wanted to see how his power compares to fucking gods being generated left and right.
And it's not a spoiler, but next episode, Gohan is gonna be fighting.
Spoilers.
Yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward to. Like he's just been a pushover for the longest time.
Yeah, I wonder. There's a lot of theories going around that they're building up to like Gohan's massive return to being the best character in the show again, but who knows?
I hope so. So let's see here. News-wise, I think it's pretty much all Switch stuff again. Gotta say, there was a video making the internet rounds where a guy said he had a Switch shipped early to him, and so he did like an unboxing video. He went through the UI, and we got the boot up screen. We got to go through the settings, and he didn't have any games, obviously, because games aren't released. But yeah, from what I saw, I enjoyed the like the material UI type design and the sounds going through the menus, a little click. I really enjoyed.
I more than enjoyed the clicks. Oh my god, made my entire body melt every
Yeah,
time you press the menu button.
Yeah, that was good sound, man.
Good job on
Yeah.
the sound directors or that.
Yeah, whoever did that has a good feedback. Lan had showed us a video earlier where when you put the Joy-Cons back on the tablet itself, it does a little animation on the side, like it's just kind of like a pop out, and then it does that switch click sound that they had in the presentation that they were showing everywhere for both sides. So you put one in, makes the switch sound. It's really satisfying.
Have you ever heard about like how people make sounds like this? Like just like in-game sounds, just like clicks or like little, I don't know, any sound. Have you kind of like heard about the process?
I haven't heard about it, but I did think I was like wondering that briefly when I was watching that.
Well, I know how they made the noise for the lightsaber.
How?
Microwave.
Really?
Yeah, apparently the story is that there's like they took some metal something or other and they were like waving it across on microwave while it was on.
Yeah, it's really weird because like you think like, oh, the sound for a pin dropping, let's just say, is like somebody takes a pin and drops it on a table and records that. But it really isn't that. They do that, and then they mix it with like other sounds, like, somebody snapping, or like, they mix it with a bunch of sounds to where it sounds pleasing, you know. And I think that's really, really cool and weird at the same time, because like I said, most of the time you just think people, oh, sound of a pin, they drop a pin and they record that and done. But they do so much more than that.
Yeah, like the sound that you hear in almost every video game that has a sword when you take it out of its sheath. That fucking sound or whatever. Swords don't make that sound in real life when you take them out of the thing. They almost make no sound at all.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even for like the stuff that would make sounds, like when you're making it in game, they don't just use that sound most of the time. Because this was a conversation I had with the sound director of Lucky's Tale when I got to see him, and he was like, "Yeah, for one of the menu sounds, I had to like drop my wife's ring in a cup and like hit the side of my cheek with my finger and combine those two to make that sound of the menu or something like that."
The hell?
Yeah, it was really just eye-opening.
It kind of makes sense though, because if you just have the sound, especially like a digital sound, like a click, it's gonna sound way too like robotic and artificial if it's just that sound. So if you like kind of add the other sounds, it kind of blends it together, right? So it sounds more natural.
Yeah.
Are there any like people researching that whole thing?
I have no idea, but think about this. He would mention the guy like slapping his cheek. What if there's a guy just like making many sounds? He's just like touching his wiener and taking sound of that, and you'll never know, but you'll think about it from now on.
God damn it. God damn it.
You never know. Like, what was that sound? Maybe it was the sound of somebody dipping his balls in Cool Whip.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Hey, when we do a game, let's do that. Let's just make all the sounds just bodily functions, and we'll just like mix them.
I saw on Steam just today. There's this like Where's Waldo game that's in like black and white, and the trailer for it, I don't know if in game it's the same. It's called Hidden Folks. You guys should watch the trailer. It's like every sound effect is made by some dude like a cappella style, making fart noises and whatever just with his mouth. Pretty funny.
It's the future of audio technology. So yeah, that was the Switch UI. Nothing really like spectacular other than the UI itself and the sounds. Everything else was pretty standard, like the menu and everything like that.
Creating Mii's, all that junk.
Yeah, I guess that was confirmed. You can create your Mii. I don't know if they even addressed that. Like, I don't know if Nintendo addressed that or not. But that was shown, and it turns out that that Switch was stolen. So he had to actually send it back to Nintendo. I guess he flashed the serial number or barcode on this unit he got. So Nintendo was able to identify that and track down where it came from. And they had a third party company contact him and say, "Yo, give this Nintendo back because it's stolen." So I thought that was pretty funny. The guy himself is not in any trouble. He just said he didn't feel comfortable keeping on to a stolen Nintendo after he found out about that. But there are some strange things with the story, because initially he said it was shipped early, and then he said he bought it off someone, so who knows what's actually happening. But it was sent back to Nintendo, according to him. Who knows if it actually was, but Switch, and also, it's also not the only Switch that was stolen. Apparently there's a few of them that are missing. So, sent it back to Nintendo. All is well with the universe.
Or he's out of his money, though. Apparently.
Yeah, he's not getting his money back. He will have like an opportunity to take whoever sold it to him to small claims court, but that's kind of like a hassle and a half.
I wonder how much he bought it for.
Yeah, I don't think he bought it for retail price, because that's like breaking the street date. It's gotta cost a premium, right?
Definitely.
I think the guy for sure knew he was buying a not legit console. Because, like, what was the scenario there? Like, oh yeah, this Nintendo representative is going to sell me a Switch 2 weeks before it comes out. That doesn't seem suspicious.
The world may never know. He knew.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then the price for the Switch dev kit actually came out. Apparently, it's going to cost $500 US, which is quite a bit lower than some of the other dev kits that were released. For example, the 3DS dev kit costs around $2,000. Same with the Wii U dev kit. And the PS4 and the PS3 both cost around $2,500, so it's pretty expensive for the dev kit. The Xbox Ones, I couldn't find a price on them. Apparently, the Xbox One may have been free for developers in some cases, but dev kits aren't cheap. They are cheap for the Switch. I think that's a good thing for the games.
Yep. And I think that's really in line with what Nintendo's trying to do, trying to push for third-party support.
And I think it might be so cheap because of how modular the actual design is. The Switch someone took apart the Switch and they showed the battery and the board and the Tegra chip and everything. And a lot of it comes apart, like the game cartridge. The game cartridge piece actually comes with the audio jack too. That just comes off the board. And the SD card slot comes off the board. And actually, the internal memory is modular too. You take it off that board. So if they just produce the same Switch for retail and just take off some of those pieces and put more internal memory for the dev kits and that type of stuff, and then send it away, I mean, it makes sense that dev kit would just be slightly more than the retail. I think that might be why. Who knows if that's true or not? That's just my guess. But some of the other things from that Switch take apart, they showed the Tegra chip. And since it is a custom chip, it doesn't actually have a regular serial number, so we can't really match it with other things and know exactly what it was. But at the very end, it says it has a code name, and then it says A1 at the end, which is like the revision of the chip. And then the Switch one says A2, and they compared that with a NVIDIA TV Shield that says A1, and the TV Shield has the Maxwell X1 chip. So I think everything just kind of falls in line with the Switch using the X1 Maxwell chip, which I don't think anyone thought otherwise. But of course, it is still heavily customized, so we still don't know what it is. We need like an actual X-ray of the system on chip to actually see what's in it, see all the cores and everything. So until someone does that, we won't truly know what it is. But just a little technical info.
So who pulled it apart?
I don't even know who pulled it apart. It's from a Chinese website. Some people think it was like a defective unit that was sent back, and they took it apart to sell the units separately. So for like people who repair the Switch, they can buy those modular pieces separately. So that's one explanation. But they didn't actually say where they're coming from. It was just some Chinese website. Those damn Chinese get hands on everything, man.
It's kind of sketch.
Yeah, it is definitely a Switch though, and it might be a dev Switch, and we don't really even know if it's the retail one. So take all that with a grain of salt. I mean, of course, it's fun to speculate, but we still don't know until it actually is in someone who is smarter than us, until it's in their hands.
Things you can get on the darknet nowadays.
yeah, you can get wives and sex slaves.
Don't give me any ideas.
You can get a wife and a sex slave all in one.
2-in-1 package.
And Sony actually, another bit of news, Sony actually, their patent for another handheld became public. They filed this in 2015, and the patents are private for a couple years, and then they become public. And it's just another handheld. I thought they were out of the handheld game. Who knows if they're gonna create something? But I don't know if did you guys see the patent at all?
Yeah, it looks like shit.
Yeah, it looks like
it looks like a 90s fucking portable device.
It actually looks pretty close to the Razer tablet peripheral. Have you seen that?
No.
With the two dildos on the side? But basically, it looks like a Switch with the controller is permanently attached to the tablet part.
And
what
way
it is.
less ergonomically nice looking.
Yeah, I don't think they'll use it. It might have been something, maybe they heard about Nintendo's product and whatever source they had, and they're like, we gotta do something like this. Let's just get a patent in there so we can do it in the future. I think Sony should stay out of the handheld market because they ain't gonna take any significant numbers away from Nintendo.
I'm biased. I loved my PSP. I have a Vita and I barely play it, but somewhere in my heart I still love it. I don't know why, but Sony consoles have just been Sony handhelds have been something I've liked for forever. I like followed the PSP as it was coming out. Like before it was coming out, I was like watching videos of it. Like I was probably more hyped for that than the Switch, to be honest. And uh, everything inside of me is telling me it's gonna fail if they do come out with it. But at the same time, I'm just like, oh, I kind of want it.
Well, there is a word for liking a Sony handheld, and it's called denial.
I think you've been sniffing the powder that they sneak into the devices too much.
Probably. Like, my gosh. Like the PSP it's a failure, but the the ability to like hack it, put homebrew on it was just so cool. And I was deep into that stuff. And
that's the one thing is for the Vita and the PSP. I think like having a hackable homebrew thing that's where the market is for those, which is totally against what they want to do, right?
It's exactly what Sony does not want to happen. I think, to be honest, one of the reasons why their handhelds failed so much is because of the stupid Memory Stick Pro Duo that they use. Like or not the Pro Duo, just like they have their own like memory stick peripheral that you can't use like an SD card for, and it costs like so much too.
Was it proprietary one?
Yeah, I forget.
How much did they cost?
I think like when it first came out, at least I know for the Memory Stick Pro Duo, it was like 5 gigs was like $100 or something like that when it first came out. And then for this new one, I think it comes with like a 32 gig or something like that. But if you want anything larger, it's still like super expensive. Let me go look up what the current prices are.
It's so like anti-consumer too. Like it's just another way to try and direct the money to Sony. When in reality, if they just let you use the SD cards, like if this was a major factor, they could just let people use SD cards, and maybe that would have gained them more people buying the console that would have like recouped the cost they would have gotten if they even used if they didn't use their memory card.
Yeah, like
proprietary stuff.
It's so annoying because it's literally like a huge barrier. And right now I'm looking at it and it looks like the 32 gigabyte on Amazon, the official PlayStation one, is $89. And I think a game takes up about like 6 gigs, 8 gigs, something like that.
That's insanity.
Yeah, it comes with an 8 gig and it fits like 1 or 2 games, like 1 or 2 full games. Like indie games, you could probably fit like 4 or 5 of them in there, but like it's pretty ridiculous.
What do you think could have saved it?
I mean, I don't know how it is to code for it or like, to make a game for it, but assuming that it's easy to make games for it, I'd say the memory card might be one of the biggest things, because like every time, one of the biggest things that prevents me from getting more games on my Vita is like, oh, I gotta delete this old game, gotta put this new one on, and it's just a hassle.
PS Vita, man. Yeah, it's funny that you were so interested, because I did not care at all about either of them except for that homebrew stuff I thought was cool.
Yeah, I played the PSP a lot. I've bought 2 PSPs actually because I lost one. But yeah, I love the PSP, and that's why I wanted the Vita so much. And actually, I was very excited for because the Vita eventually switched to kind of like an indie machine. So like a bunch of indie developers created games for it. Like The Binding of Isaac was on there. I think The Darkest Dungeon was on there. I think Stardew Valley, like the developer, said that he would be interested in making a port for the Vita as well. Like it's a great homebrew machine, and I bought the Vita because I saw all these or not homebrew machines, great indie machine, and I saw all these developers making indie games for it, and I was like, well, I think I'm gonna buy it because playing Binding of Isaac on the go. How great is that? So I did that, and I played Binding of Isaac a little bit when I was, I was really into Binding of Isaac for a while. I played it quite a bit.
Did it run good?
Yeah, it ran well, but I don't know. Just like there's just not enough for games for it, and a lot of times if I'm buying an indie game, it's gonna be out on the PC, and it's probably gonna be better on there. So like eventually, I just kind of gave up. And it's like the battery life on it is not great either. It's only like 3 hours, so probably like the amount of time that a Switch is gonna have, which kind of worry me a little bit. But at the same time, with like these portable battery packs and stuff, and the Switch actually supporting USB-C, I think that problem is going to be remedied easily with like a external battery pack, because the Vita doesn't use USB-C; it uses its own plug, which is yet again dumb.
Yeah, but not as dumb as Nintendo not even including one with their handheld. Although, does the PSP include it?
Yes,
Power
it
card?
does.
Okay.
But somehow the 3DS is still super popular.
Yeah, I still cannot understand that business decision. Whatever, saves them money, I guess. It's funny, the handheld race used to be like, there used to be a lot like back in the day with like Nintendo and Nintendo Game Boy and stuff like that. You'd have like the Game Gear and stuff. You would have mobile game devices that just took full cartridges for your other devices. The Game Boy used its own cartridge, but I think that's fucking hilarious. Imagine having like a portable game device that just takes a CD and has a CD bay in it, like drive spinning in it. That'd be terrible. You just have scratch discs all the time.
I mean, the UMD for the PSP was sort of like a CD.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's true.
Wait, the PSP didn't use cartridges?
Nope. It had little mini discs inside of these cases, and then like you'd put the entire case or whatever, it's called the UMD, and you'd put it inside of the PSP, and it would run that. The Vita uses cartridges, though.
Yeah, thinking about that. So you get the cartridge space, but you get the speeds of a CD.
Yeah, but nowadays it's better. Like, cartridges are better.
Yeah, I'm glad the Switch doing cartridges.
There's something about cartridges that I just really love. Holding them, collecting them.
And flash memory is so cheap right now. If you if you don't need a game that takes up a lot of space, then yeah, use cartridges. But there's some games that are so big, and I don't even know why they're so big. Like Fallout 4 is like 50 gigs, isn't it? And it's like, it doesn't look super great. The textures aren't like super impressive or anything. Why does it take so much space? And the high res pack is like another 40, 50 gigs. And that doesn't even look that good. I don't know. I don't get it, man. Although I'm not like a fucking programmer or anything. Another Switch tidbit for you guys. Devolver Digital has said they are going to release some games for the Switch, and if you don't know who they are, do some homework, because they are my favorite publisher / developer. I hold them to the same high regard as I hold Nintendo. They're like,
whoa,
their games their games are outstanding. Like, they know what they're doing. They're making games so that they can make games. They have quality. They're like, it's like a company of gamers. I'll just list off some of their games. They've taken over the Series M HD stuff. They didn't make the original ones, but the like HD ones. Although they're making Series M4, so I guess they own it now. They made Hotline Miami. You might have heard of that. Hotline Miami 2, Shadow Warrior, Viscera Cleanup Detail, Hatoful Boyfriend. You might like Mother Russia Bleeds. They're like the Nintendo of indie development. That's what they are.
Did they take over Vlambeer?
I don't even know what that is. Is that a game?
No, it was a group of people who were making games. Like, they made Loof Rousers. They made like I think it was called Serious Fishing, Extreme Fishing. I don't remember what it was called. But they also did Nuclear Throne.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm not too sure. I only really know them as they are right now as Devolver Digital.
Because I like looked up Devolver Digital, and like Loof Rousers popped up, and I'm like, wait, that's a Vlambeer game.
Yeah, Loof Rousers. They are the publisher for that.
Sorry. Loof Rousers, Vlambeer is the developer. Devolver Digital is the publisher. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but they are involved though. And publishing is an important role because they're the part of the game production that like does all the. They basically give the money away, and they do all the advertising, and they're in charge of the like distribution and all that stuff.
Yeah, you could. The perfect example of how big a role a publisher plays is what should I call it? No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that's a good point. They sold that game, didn't they?
Yeah, and they hyped it up like crazy. And you know what? If it wasn't published by Sony, or if Sony chose to treat it like any other indie game, it probably would have done well, but definitely not on the scale that it sold. but at the same time, probably wouldn't have been as disappointing as it was.
Yeah, maybe if Sony wasn't involved. I have a feeling Sony might have like pushed them to get it out. I don't know. Typically the case with those AAA publishers. And
Yeah.
maybe if they weren't involved, they would have, been able to deliver the game they said they were actually selling at the time.
Like they could have put it into early access or whatever, and then they could have taken feedback from the community. It might have been still in early access, like most early access games, but at least they'd be developing it, making it better. But that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, it's it's video game philosophy is what it is. We'll never know. Yeah, any news items you guys want to bring up? Anything irking you?
Really too much. Hasn't really been too much happening. We kind of covered a lot of stuff with our last podcast with like the Steam stuff.
I heard that Payday 3 is being developed.
Oh yeah, that's right. Starbreeze released their financial end of fiscal year financial reporting thing, and in that they announced that they're in the full game design stage of Payday 3, and they said they're gonna take their time with it. They're not gonna rush it. They said it's like their bread and butter. It's what makes them the most money, so they're just gonna release it when it's done. And day one DLC, I'm positive. I'm sure of it.
Their practices from Payday 2, I don't want anything to do with that company ever again.
We're never gonna sell any microtransactions. Oh, here, have a bunch of them.
We're gonna take our time planning the 14 years after the game comes out DLC.
Yeah, how many packs do they have out right now? I'm not sure. If I were to guess, I'd say at least 20.
More than fucking Train Simulator DLC.
Jeez.
I don't know about that. That's a lot of DLC.
It is. I forget. Somebody, like, if you buy all the DLC for Train Simulator, I believe it costs like over thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah, I've seen like $3,000 for all the DLC and the game.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what they sound like after they pay for it all. Because people who are buying all that DLC, man, they are fans of trains. They love the trains, man. They have a dildo machine. It's just a train. It just goes back and forth into their rectum. That's how much they like trains. Speaking of trains, actually this has nothing to do with trains. If you're looking to upgrade your PC, March 10th is going to be the release date for the 1080 Ti, NVIDIA 1080 Ti. That's coming out. Rumors are that the AMD Vega is actually going to be better than the 1080Ti. So maybe wait out until March 10th to decide which one you're going to buy. I was going to get the 1080 Ti, but I might hold out and see if the Vega's any different. And then the Ryzen CPUs from AMD are also coming out. Basically the same performance of the Intel chips for half the price. There was some leaked benchmarks coming out that showed that. So maybe time to switch over to Team Red. Of course, if you do that, you will need to replace your motherboard at the very least, and then your RAM to DDR4 if you're running the older socket motherboards.
And then have fun dealing with all the driver issues you're gonna have inevitably because it's fucking AMD.
Yeah, I use AMD right now for my processor.
What do you need a new graphics card for anyways, Jess?
I need it to drive my VR, man.
Are you rendering the next Avatar movie?
No. No, my 980 Ti is it's really good, but it's just not where I want it to be for my my VR. Plus I'm running 1440p, man. I need to drive 120 frames. My freaking 120 hertz monitor I need to keep that going. It's got to be fresh and fast.
Look at this guy. I got a 144 hertz monitor. Got a 980 Ti. Not good enough for me.
Hey, it has G-Sync too.
I was just gonna say, but you have G-Sync.
PC Master Race, man.
Why don't we share a nice cup of wine and cheese while we're at it?
I'll trade you graphics cards. Actually, I think I promised Landon that I'd give him my old one.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm rocking your old one. I'm rocking your 970.
Yeah, and Jeff has my even older one. He has a 670 that I gave to him, and a CPU, and a mother. I sent him my old PC.
How much of your property have you sent across the border, Jeff? You must be on some kind of watch list.
Yeah, I'm definitely on a watch list, no doubt about it. That's for my Google searches. It's a different kind of watch list.
I don't want to know.
Man, you've just been distributing yourself to all of us. We've just all been getting your hand-me-downs.
Yeah, and you don't even know if it's even clean. Like I could have just rubbed my balls on it before I gave it to you.
Well, I requested that. Don't you remember?
Oh yeah, I made you pay for that. I forgot.
All worth it.
$10 for a 60-second tea bag. So if you want to buy a 60-second tea bag, guys, head over to mapleoverbacon.com. Go to the contact page. Send me an email. I'll figure something out for you guys. Otherwise,
is that what maple over bacon means?
Yeah, the bacon is a product, and my nutsack tastes like maple. All Canadians' nutsacks taste like maple. It's a fact.
Ladies.
Ladies. Yeah, that's I think that'll do it for the episode 4 of the Overly Subjective Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you have any topic suggestions for us, just maybe send us a message on the contact page, mapleoverbacon.com. Otherwise, we'll just continue talking about the stuff we like and the games we've played and the news that comes out. mapleoverbacon.com. You can find the podcast also. We're syndicated on Google Play Store and iTunes. We're very fancy that way.
Like pros.
Fancy for a fancy person like you, Jesse.
That's right. And then, Hewitt, what are your plugs?
Well, you can find me over on my Twitch stream, MisoXShiru. You can also find me at Twitter's, which is the same thing, at MisoXShiru, and my blog, which I'm posting stuff on every day, at least trying to, over at www.objectivelysubjective.com.
It's .com, not .com.
No, I tried, but it was a little bit too expensive.
All right, Landon, we know you don't exist online, so that's
Hey,
fine.
just because I don't have anything to say doesn't mean you gotta skip over me.
Okay, you got anything you want to add?
You can find me in the dark, dank alley next to your local 7-Eleven. Blowing hobos.
That's how you're paying for the Switch, right?
Yep.
All right, that's the Overly Subjective Podcast. We don't have outro music, so I'm going to request you guys to make some music while we exit here. So just go ahead and make some music.
Wait, that's copywritten.
Damn it, now I have to take it down. All right, guys, thanks for listening. See ya.